Hello, my name is Andrew Tudor. I'm the Environmental Superintendent at Mount Milligan Mine, north of Fort St. James, BC, and I currently reside in Fort St. James. And my job up here is to basically ensure that we are in compliance with all of the permits that we have on the environmental side for the mine. And there's a number of them. There's about a dozen permits that we need to look after permit conditions for. So we do anything from water quality sampling, both groundwater and surface water. We do ambient dust fall sampling. We do environmental effects monitoring. So behind us here we have Alpine Lake, and we do benthic invertebrate sampling here, which is part of our environmental effects monitoring plan. So at the Mount Milligan mine in the environmental department, we currently have 5 employees. We have myself, the environmental superintendent. We have an environmental coordinator, and we have 3 environmental monitors. 2 of those monitors are from our partner First Nation McLeod Lake Indian Band, and one of them is from Nekazli, which is on the Fort St. James side.
Daily we do turbidity readings in 5 locations around site, so we're checking for the amount of sediment in the water, so make sure the creeks are all clean.
The monitors do all the kind of on-the-ground sampling and monitoring of contractors working on site, checking for compliance with our waste management procedures, checking for hazardous waste material problems, those sorts of things. The coordinator helps collate all that data into reports, and then we put those reports together and send those off to Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Energy and Mines. There are some seasonal variations. So in the summer, in the spring and the summer, when songbirds tend to build their nests and have their eggs and raise their young, we bring in biologists, and they check for nests whenever we want to go and clear an area of timber or brush. And when we find nests, we put a buffer around there and allow the young to carry through with what they would normally do until they fledge and leave the nest. Another thing that we do in the summer is we also run a hydrology program, which is basically measuring the creek flows around the site. And we do that to get data to help inform us on our water balance model. So we need to keep track of how much water is coming into that tailings storage facility and how much water are we cutting off from some of the creeks around it, and get an idea throughout the mine life of how that interaction works, and verify the models that we developed during the environmental assessment process.
It's different in the summertime. It's more beautiful, and you enjoy the environment where we're digging ice holes in the wintertime and it's very cold.
So as part of the permitting process, in order for us to construct a tailings storage facility, we had to develop a fish habitat compensation plan, which satisfied the requirements of the Department of Fishery and Ocean's no net loss policy. Basically, if you want to build something in fish habitat, you have to be able to compensate for that somewhere else of equal or greater value. So we have done a plan that incorporates a number of elements, and one of those elements is the overwintering pond in the upper Rainbow Creek watershed. What we did was we analyzed a few reaches of Rainbow Creek, which is a fairly close proximity to the mine, and checked for areas of the creek that had habitat that was lacking in something. So the upper Rainbow Creek watershed was lacking in overwintering habitat. It's quite shallow. There's not a lot of flow in the winter, so fish don't have an opportunity to overwinter in that watershed.
We're looking to create habitat that allows the fish to survive the winter. So we actually do get winter up here, and the plan is that we're going to actually have 2.5 meters of water, free water, and 1 meter of ice. In other words, the pond is 3.5 meters deep on average.
We're here at Alpine Lake, and Alpine Lake is actually located in quite close proximity to the tailings storage facility here at Mount Milligan. So it's actually a really good indicator of the environmental system that we have here, and we can use it as a good indicator to see if there's any issues with water quality.
So we check things like water quality, we check benthic invertebrates, we check composition of bugs, we do a spawning survey in the spring, we do a population estimate in the summer and the fall, and have an idea of what kind of changes are happening to this lake. Prior to starting construction on site here at Mount Milligan, we conducted a number of pre-screening surveys as part of the environmental assessment process. So we did things like an archaeological impact assessment, where you assess the type of land that may have been used by First Nations in the past, and then actually go out and do transects and look for evidence of that use. And that helps inform us on our where we should be doing certain things, if there's areas we should be staying out of. The other things that we have done before we started construction were plant surveys, native plant surveys, so that we have an idea of what types of plants need to go back at the end in the reclamation process. We also did wolverine den surveys, looking for wolverine dens, looking for bear dens, checking for fisher dens.
Everybody's so cognitive of environmental issues that developing environmental management plans and whatnot is it gets the wave of the future, and it's what we do here to make things right.